STF deprogrammed for a reason, because I had to get rid of that old programming that nearly took my life away. It's all life shit. That's why I'm here today. And we're back with Lady Crown. And we don't stay down, we stay up. And we don't chat pork, but it's not real talk. It's another midweek catch up. And we've got a lot of energy right now. And yeah, Lady Crown, what you got to say to the people there?
Greetings, family. Bet you're surprised, aren't you? Oh, are they back? Oh, well, perhaps just a midweek catch up. Yeah, we did a real talk last week, Monday, and today, Wednesday, SCS kind of, pounced on me this Grand Rising and said, oh, you know what, Mom, something's just come to me, I just talk off my mind. I said, how do you fancy doing a midweek catch up? Well, you know what? Why not? Why not? Forever present. Just deal with the now time. You can't go wrong. So I greet you. I welcome you. And what a beautiful day. What a beautiful life.
Trust me. Like, when you're present, you can manifest much quicker, because you got the most energy, within now time. And it's key, for us to tap in and realize that we're co-creators of our reality. The external forces only have power over you when you give it to them. It is a choice. So key for us to tap in, realize that you got the power, And big ups to Brother Rich, that's on my mind right now.
Yes, and all the brothers and sisters,
the gods and goddesses out there linking up together and raising the energy. I think over 1,000 of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you go on YouTube, you'll there's lots of clips that have been uploaded about these men and women climbing Stone Mountain, and STS was saying that there's a 91-year-old lady, a matriarch who went up there. 91 women were walking up there bare feet with their younglings on their backs,
little babies on the back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the change is so apparent now. I think before it wasn't so much. I mean, the things that we used to speak about, people kind of go, roll the eyes, like, because unless sometimes it's right in front of your nose, people just can't see what's happening. But more and more, they're showing their hand, they're showing their cards, so they're no longer keeping the cards guarded and you've got to peep over to see what they got. They're now showing you in plain view that, they've done some really horrible things and continue to do it to you I think it's really for the normies to wake up. And I say normies, I mean the people that really have no idea about what's happening and taking place on the planet because of their lives that they live, very busy working, looking after younglings, coming home, cooking, clean, all of the chores, all the things that they get you wrapped up in, to the point where you don't even know yourself and you meet yourself coming back, literally, because it's all about, got my bills to pay, got this. But there's so much happening, the Bruce and Suter case, with the council tax. You got to know that council tax is not, you're not liable for it. You have no obligation to pay it. And if that's the case, then there will be a contract signed with your name and the third party's name, not the corporation, a third party, another man or woman signing to say, that you agree to pay this money. And you've got to ask yourself, what are you paying it for? You'll just look around, all of the surveillance that's going up all over the city, landscape, the radio, those cameras, what do they call them? Infrared. Will cause real serious damage to your vision, because they're a weapon system. You listen to Mark Steele and tap into him and visit saveusnow.org .uk. Lots of information on there, and he's on Substack as well. And it's literally, the Blade Runners in London, when they went around and took down all of these ULEZ cameras, he's a weapons expert. That's what he does. He's got patents for all sorts. And he took it apart and revealed exactly what it was. And wrote to London City Transport and explained it. Said, oh, no, it's just an ANPR, license reader. No, it's not. These are actually dangerous and they cause harm, loss of life, and actually do damage your macula. So he's in the High Court. You've got lots of people out there. I'm telling you, when I say the people, them are rising up and taking back their power. I spoke about Govinda Tidball last week, Monday, you know what I'm saying, with this UCC1 filing. The information's out there. It's out there to the point where, like I said, we's free now. But, if you don't understand that, then you'll continue in that paradigm that they've caught you in. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a massive paradigm shift taking place as we speak. Your monetary system is changing. Bitcoin, Euro coin, whatever it is, they're coming out with their CBDC. The powers that be don't want to lose control over the people like you and me, the minions, the plebs, the useless eaters, as they refer to us as. But we're not that. You know, we were born free. We're mighty. We're powerful. And we've just been hoodwinked and deceived and lied to. And because of the nature that we have, which is more agreeable than disagreeable, we're very trusting. So when somebody comes to you with a white coat on, with a stethoscope round the neck and says, step this way, we're going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should be putting your foot in your hand and getting the hell out of Dodge. Trust me, because that's how corrupt the system is. You know, I was speaking to STS about the doctor in America that, you know, over 500 patients that he told them that they had cancer and treated them for cancer because guess what? They'd have to have the insurance. And so he rinsed out the insurance policy. Some of them died, some of them were seriously injured. You know, and he sat in court with the most passive look on his face. I mean, if that's not a psychopath, I don't know what is.
How much did they make again? Was it over 30?
30 million.
Over 30 million.
30 million. $30 million. He was able to get from their insurance policies because if it wasn't this treatment, it's that. And then he gave them higher doses than they should do so he could get more money. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
when
which
you know.
is an acid treatment, you know, it kills all cells.
It kills all cells.
Unhealthy cells.
And the thing is, they have the technology and they actually know how to treat cancer and what cancer actually is. You know, and literally, it's a body's. Listen, I'm no medical profession. I'm not professing to be one. But listen, you have to have inner standing and you have to be able to do your own research and know what's right and what's wrong. It's your body's way. A tumor forms in the body to protect that part of the body, whether it forms in the brain, the breast, the bowel. It's literally got all of the crap together that's causing harm and put it into this great big ball. Small, large, makes no difference. They put it in there because that's your body's way of trying to protect yourself. Now, the man with or the woman with the white coat and the stethoscope and the name on the door will say, oh, well, we're not quite sure what it is. We need to do a biopsy. The minute they insert their scalpel into that biopsy, that tumor that you have, what do you think is going to happen with what's in it? If it's benign, fine. If it's malignant, then you are a goner because it's going to spread all over the body. So biopsy, listen, think twice and know that it's parasites in the body collecting all of the parasites in there that's causing you harm in that tumor for you to start working on it to remove all of it. So the cleaning and the cleansing, like SDS will tell you what the body needs in order for it to function. It must be alkaline. So stop giving it all the acidic foods. Guess what? That tumor will start reducing on its own. The information is out there for us to clean and cleanse our bodies and get them back to from a dis-ease into an ease. Remove them, and there's use the word dis-ease to make you think, oh my God, I've got a disease. No, it's dis-ease. Your body's at dis-ease, and if you do the right things, you bring it back into balance. Because everything's about balance. So you've got to know these things. You can no longer trust somebody to take care of the vessel that was given to you that you chose to incarnate into, to then hand it over to an optician, to a dentist, to a doctor, to a lawyer. There's always going to be somebody in between you and your divine connection. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to take all that back and do what we know we can do for ourselves. We're doing it. We do it on a daily. You know what I mean? And we're not afraid to share that information with people that want to know. But if you're going to say to me, oh, what qualifications you got then? Well, I'll just tell you to do one.
You know, Dr. Sebi had no qualifications, but he healed many people.
You didn't even go to school, for goodness sake.
With the right information, because even he said he didn't heal. He facilitated healing for others. Absolutely. So, you know, it's our power, you know. With the right information, we have to make the right choices. And just like you were saying earlier, you know, with the parasites and things like that, you know, there's parasite cleansers out there. There's many things that we can tap into, but we need to focus on what best serves us, and we need to tap into self-love, which is key, because the fear frequency is the reason why a lot of these health issues are happening as well, because when you learn about the emotional states of people, you realize that it's having a big impact on your biochemical structure as well, the way that you feel about yourself, because you can create a disease even when you eat eating
stress is the biggest killer.
Stress is the biggest killer. So a lot of people need to realize that it's about your lifestyle overall, you know. It's not just about the food. It's not just about the food. It's one part of reality. There's many different dimensions of reality. Trust me.
You have to take a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But when you're at when you're really at crisis edge and you have to act quickly, then you have to start doing things that literally clean and cleanse the body, the blood, the organs. You know what I'm saying? It may well be that they've given you some, stage 4, stage 5, whatever, ivermectin, bendazole, absolutely brilliant. Oh, they're deworming tablets for dogs and horses. Yo, fam. They are known to do what they're supposed to do, which is to kill parasites. And guess what? Dogs, cats have parasites. I have parasites, and that's what they do. They literally kill the parasites in the body. And if the parasites are all clumped up into a mass called a tumor, then guess what happens to that tumor also? Do you know what I'm saying? It's out there for us. The herbs, wormwood, Sakara sagrada. There's so many herbs out there, natural things that you could probably find walking around this allotment that will help to clean and cleanse out your digestive tract, your colon. You know what I'm saying? We can do all of those things for ourselves very cheaply as well. For goodness sake, it's not expensive stuff. You don't need, Bupa insurance, because people that say, well, I can afford Bupa, so they're no different from the, because most of these consultants that work for the hospitals also have a private practice, and they'll, okay, you get treated a little bit differently because you're handing over money, but essentially it's the same poison that they're going to prescribe you. It'll be allopathic. It won't be anything natural. You know what I'm saying? So it's time, folks. It really is time. If there ever was a time for us to come together as a collective and do for ourselves and for each other, this is the time.
Yeah, this is the era, man. The age of Aquarius. It's about knowing, isn't it? So, age of truth. You know what I mean? And it's rising, man. It's rising. Consciousness is rising back to the forefront of reality because, the darkness has been there for too long now. And time's up, Like they said, 6,000 years, it's already up now.
It's up.
So cosmically, things are changing. So this is why people are having big shifts within their lives, in terms of their reality turning from the darkness into the lightness, because now things are getting revealed to them that wouldn't have got revealed to them even in 2019. Wouldn't have been possible because the pandemic has helped people wake up big time.
Oh, yes.
Realizing, oh, wait a sec. Yeah, there was never for you. You've got to be for you, Yeah. And, everything's in divine order. So remember, don't rush anything. Be patient and also be vigilant as well, which is key because you got to be present out here because there's many things attacking you when you're really tapped into the shadows of life. And when you actually transform that energy into the light energy, you'll realize how powerful you are, because this is what Lady Crown does all the time. She's a big inspiration for me. She's made me realize that, it's a choice, every second's a choice for you to either pick the fear frequency or the love frequency.
Yeah.
You know what we're dealing with.
Well, it's all about the feeling, baby.
Ooh, yeah. Trust me.
Trust me, we're not down with that. At the same time, very much aware of what's taking place and very much preparing for what's taking place, because regardless of peace and love and running around, daisy chains in the cornfield might sound wonderful and idyllic. That's not where we're heading, because we're entering the eye of the storm. I think we're already in the eye of the storm, as much as they're trying to give the illusion of calm. Like I was saying, going around, the city of Nottingham here, we've got, buildings that are now being completed with thousands of accommodation for students and all the rest of it. I know there won't be any students going in those accommodations because there probably won't be any universities, but there are a lot of people that are probably going to need accommodating because they've found their way into this country. So it's it's called a crack-up boom. They create the illusion, and you look back in history, you'll see there's been many crack-up booms where people go, what they're talking about? My life's great. I've got this job, and my stock shares are going up, and because it's a crack-up boom. They're going to flood the economy with a lot more of the paper, digital, currency, and people are going to go out there and spend it like crazy. If they've got any sense, they'll start buying the tangible assets like I've talked about on many occasions, and some other things. Food, water, those essential things, and then everything will crash and burn. They're trying to shut down the system and bring on the new monetary system, which is the central bank digital currency. Euro's working on it. China, lots of countries. I mean, they've not had a great deal of success, to be honest with you, because a lot of people just aren't connected via mobiles. They don't have it. They don't have any form of technology. They can't use it. So they're still reliant on cash. They tried it in Nigeria, the Naira. It crashed and burnt. The people just said, you know what, forget that. And they just started to use cash. But then people started to do bartering. You know, and literally went underground to do their transactions because they don't want to use something that's programmable. You know, if ever you thought that your life was already being orchestrated in a way that you have no control over, you definitely won't have any when they bring out the CBDC and say to you, well, you know, this is what you've got to use from now on, because it's those powers that be that want to have and maintain the control over the finances for the world, you know, and yours as well. So they'll program it and tell you that you can't spend it on this, you can't, that, you can't. I mean, if you don't realize by then that that you're owned, you're branded, and you belong to them, then I don't know when you will. So, you know, they're talking about blackouts coming and food shortages. Everything is orchestrated. This planet is so bountiful. It's unreal. The land that's here, the greenery, the trees. Yes, and I've spoken about it before. The amount of trees all over the place, but you've got to literally go walking in forest areas to go. And
Trees,
we were picking berries, cherries
yeah.
on Moon Day when we went for our walk.
Yeah.
You know, there were all sorts, all different varieties, but they were in, you know, an area where people don't walk dogs, more affluent areas. But you've got trees lining the streets. Look, wherever you're living, the trees that are lining the streets, not one of them will bear a fruit. So why didn't your municipality or your local authority, they really were caring and working for and serving the people, have fruit trees, apples, pears, anything that grows in your country, and set them to grow you know, whenever they're supposed to come through into the summer. Imagine the young ones just walking down and picking an apple off the tree and you know, eating it. No, we've got blinking conkers, for God's sake. You can, yam conker. But there's conker trees all over. So everything's done by design and very deliberate. You know, that's why we're so grateful for what we have up at the allotment. Apple tree, pear tree, cherry tree. We even got some cherries off the tree this year. Say we've got, you know, a good handful, because they take, you know, 6-7 years before they start to produce, you know, the cherries. And this year was the first year that we really had like a handful of cherries off those 2 trees. But, you know, be prepared as much as you possibly can, and whoever's watching this, wherever you're watching it, you know, share it with your family and your friends, because it's something that they need to know, and it's coming from ordinary men and women. You know what I'm saying? Saving and I aren't pretending to be or professing to be anything other than what you see, but we care about our fellow men and women out there, and we're very much aware what's taking place, what's happening on the planet, and you know why people do the things that they do. So instead of sitting there like a duck, you know, a sitting duck, because the sitting ducks, you know what happens to them, don't you? They get picked off. But if you're moving, you're bibbing and bobbing, you know what I'm saying, you're Frank Bruno or you're Mike Tyson, then, you know, it might take them a bit of a time to land a punch.
You know, movement for life.
Movement for life, exactly. So yeah, get your put your little extras and put them in, because if things do go to hell in a handbasket, then you can bunker down where you are in your yard, you know what I'm saying, and you'll be good to go, as long as you can protect yourself and your yard, because you know what I'm saying, you're going to need to be able to do that. And I'm sure I don't need to explain to you how to go about doing that either. You know what I mean? When I say protect, look at what you need to do in order to protect life, limb, and property. Yeah? So you know what you need to have in the event of. I think it's always better to be prepared and never need it, never use it, than to go, Jesus me Christ. How am I going to know? You know what I'm saying? You're finny. I should make people say, you're finny. Yeah? You don't want that. So just, you know, forewarned is forearmed, so therefore you can do what it is you need to do. But, you know, it's a wonderful time to be here. I feel really, I chose to be here in this day and this time. I know that, do you know what I'm saying? And I'm loving every minute of it, because, you know, my awakening came many years ago, and I'm so grateful for that. I really am, that I was born for this and purpose for this. My, you know, fostering at an early age and all the things that I've done were all designed for me. That was the path that I was supposed to take. You know, it wasn't a case of some career officer saying, "Oh, what do you want to do when you get older?" You know, the bullshit that come out when you're at school. Take your, you know, let me not go there, because you know what I'm like when I start. Take your body. No, exactly. So I found my purpose very early on in life. Now that's another thing that people need to actually
It's the
recognize.
purpose.
Your purpose.
Yeah,
If you
that's
can't
key.
sit down and have that conversation with yourself, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? If you don't ask those questions, then somebody else will give you the purpose.
And shout out to Winhoff, he said, if you don't go to the cold will come to you. You know, trust me,
Yeah,
it's not a joke out here.
absolutely.
You know?
Go and
Real
meet
life.
it. Go and meet it head on.
Yeah, trust
Meet
me.
it head on.
Face your fears, because you'll
100%.
realize that the light is there. You know, when
Yeah.
you overcome your fears. Trust me, and
100%.
stay here. You know what I mean? Present.
Stay present.
You know?
Always stay present.
Trust
It's
me.
now time.
Now
Don't deal
time.
with
Trust
anything
me.
back there. It's back there. That's why
No,
it's
trust
called
me.
past.
Sankofa,
Yeah.
then flick your head back,
Right back.
just like the bird. You know.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep
Trust
moving
me. Keep
forward.
moving forward.
Yeah. And having your best
Yeah.
life, creating your reality,
Yeah.
regardless of the mayhem that may be taking place around you. Because, you know, there'll be some places where they show you war zones, and then, you know, 2 minutes down the road from there, people are going about the freaking business because it's not their reality. You know, you don't have to buy into it.
Yeah, we're all living out different realities while sharing.
Yeah.
So create yours.
Create your own.
You know?
Somebody can. Don't let people create the narrative for you. You create the narrative, and then you control that narrative. So people might look, what's she talking about? Can't you see everything's gone to hell in a handbasket? You're going, oh my goodness, life's wonderful. Because it is for you. You know what I'm saying? It is for you because you detach yourself from all of that theatre, because it's all theatre. Yeah, it is a big circus. People lose lives. I'm not disputing that, because absolutely, in order for something to appear real, they have to be bloodshed, and these people unfortunately do like to make sure that people spill their blood, because it's, you know, it's like a bloodletting ritual for them, you know. But guess what? That's not us. That's them, and we're going to stay focused and stay grounded. That's nothing. Get your feet in the soil, connect with the Mother Nature. Yeah, and you'll get the inspiration to do great things. Trust me. Big shouts out to my brother Ray Baruti, the beautiful t-shirts that we got from him, and his the pyramids that they made for us as well. You know what I'm saying? We've got to shout him out. He keeps getting kicked off TikTok because, you know,
he's spreading out good information.
Yeah, and I don't like it. You know,
so you get shouted back.
Yeah, if you sit there talking early hogwash and encouraging people to all
you get promoted.
Oh, you get some subscribers overnight, mate. You'll be on a mill. But anything to uplift, you know, men and women, they're not so keen on. But guess what? All that's changing. All that's changing. Decentralized finance, decentralized social media, not having the big names, the Googles and the Microsoft, you know, because these are massive companies that literally just come in and garble everything up. And so you've got no choice, because people say, oh, you know what's fine out, just Google it. I mean, they even say just Google it. They don't even say just look it up on the internet anymore.
They're not using their minds
exactly
anymore, you know what I mean?
No, well, listen, people are losing their minds. Literally losing their minds.
Trust me.
Yeah.
So you have to have self-realization, and you can do it through meditation. You know, realizing that your mind's powerful. You know, when you connect with the higher realms here, you'll realize that you can get cosmic downloads. You know, our ancestors used to do that. This is why they built pyramids, you know?
Yeah.
To a high degree, to the point where people can't even replicate it. Shout out to tweeters out there, but they can't replicate that to this in today's time, because, you know, we're just not tapping into that ancient knowledge. And the more of us that do that, shout out to Malachi York out there. He actually done it in the modern day time, because we can tap into that information. You know, it's in the Akashic records. You know, so we have got access to these high dimensions. So it's down to us, really and truly. You know, it is down to us. But
take back your power.
Take back your power, man. It's key, man.
It's yours. It's out. It's there for you.
Yeah.
You just got to go out and take it. Do you know what I'm saying? Literally, you know what I mean? The information, the knowledge is out there. You haven't got to stop doing, oh, where do I start from? It's out there for you. All you got to do is, instead of, you know, scrolling through endless TikTok vids.
And this is key, you know. You know, the distractions really takes you away from your power, you know. You know, you've got it.
It's designed that way. They know what makes us tick, you know. They know. I've done it. Listen, if you think me just start telling them not to do it, I've done it. I sat there and gone, oh, that's interesting. An hour later, I'm still going, oh, that, fam, it's easily done. Do you know what I'm saying? But you still have to recognizing it, you're able to do something about it. If you think it's okay to be there for 4 or 5 hours, then you've got a problem. You've got to reckon, hang on a second, I've just sat there I could have done X, Y, and Z, because that's what I say to myself. I think, you know what, put that down and crack on. You know?
That's what we need to do. Self-regulation.
Yeah.
Is key. Yeah. Self-regulation is key. Don't beat yourself up. Realize that you can change it now, you know?
Trust me. Ain't nobody coming to save your ass.
Except for you, baby.
You're the one that's going to do it. Don't wait for no government. Don't wait for no police. Don't wait for no doctor. No lot. None of those are going to save you. Only you. Only you can do it. So come on, people. It's time. It's time. Time to rise and shine.
You know?
Sun's kind of like been overcast today. You know what I mean? They've got the blanket covering out there, but guess what? It's the 2nd of July. This is summer. But guess what?
We're here.
We're here.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think it's a wrap.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals, and we're there with ya.
Spiritually.
STS and Lady Crown over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace, my people.